Welcome to Larry's Library. And this week, what I've got for you is Noir Burlesque. This is a beautiful, oversized hardcover from Titan Comics. The MSRP on this one is $29.99. I did get mine from InStockTrades.com, but right now, as the time of shooting this, it seems to be out of stock at InStock and also at CheapGraphicNovels.com. Now, I did find it still listed at Amazon. Let's see here, for full price. I think they discounted like 4 cents. Yeah, save 4 or 5 cents. Get it at Amazon. I mean, if you gotta, it's certainly worth $29.95. Spoiler, so $29.99 or whatever they're charging. It's worth it. But if you can hang on a little bit, there could be a restock at InStockTrades.com or CGN. I would be willing to bet that, because most of the Titan books, they seem like they sort of stay in print, at least for a while. I don't know if it's a true evergreen, but it'll probably stay around for a while. It'll probably come back in stock, I'm betting, but maybe not. So this one is a nice 228 pages, and as I said, it is an oversized hardcover. At least for our market, it's oversized. So some of my European viewers have pointed out that this is actually, I think he said it was a little smaller than standard size in their market, where they call them albums. But for us, this is basically, you'll see it in the B-roll here when I roll it. It's about the same height as a Marvel or DC omnibus, but it is wider. So it is a beautiful edition. And like all the Titan Comics hardcovers I have, and I have several now, they're all immaculate builds. Just great. I've never had a problem with them. Nice hardcover with no dust jacket. The art is just printed right on it, the way we want it, or the way I want it anyway. And it has a nice sewn binding, as any good hardcover would. So this book is black and white and red. Yeah, so it's black and white with a really nice sort of watercolor looking ink wash type effect throughout the book. Gorgeous black and white artwork. But the color red is also used. So you have a couple of characters have red hair, and so that just pops. There's a vehicle that is red, and it pops, and there's a few dresses worn by some of the females that just pop right off the page. So that's pretty cool. But otherwise, it's varying tones of gray and black and white, which is very fitting for this subject matter because, as you would probably guess from the title, this is crime noir at its best. And there are no true good guys. Maybe one, maybe. They're just varying shades of gray, which, in my cynical worldview, that's kind of like the real world. You know, there are not too many really, really good guys. Sadly, there's a whole lot of bad guys and a tremendous amount of in-betweens. You know, but this is set in the early 50s, and I'm coming up with that from the cars that are depicted. And in one of the shots of one of the boulevards, you can see on the marquee that Asphalt Jungle is playing, among other movies, and that came out in, I think, 1950 or 51. So, I mean, you know, the movie, of course, could be shown years later, but I'm thinking this is early 50s. I'm going to say early 1950s. So this one is written and drawn by Enrico Marini. Now, I had never heard of Enrico Marini. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever seen any of his work before, to my knowledge, but I understand he's quite a superstar internationally and in Europe and some other places. And wow, I was totally impressed. This is a tremendous work. It's fabulous. So I'm pretty sure this is an original graphic novel. I don't think this collects anything. I think it came out in this format or something similar. I don't think it was serialized to my knowledge. And it is very much in the vein of some of my favorite pulp crime movies. If you want to get an idea of those, if you haven't already seen, I'll put a link up above or in the corner or down below. I'll put it everywhere to my top 10 crime movies, because so it certainly evokes that flavor of, like, especially the older ones. Like my favorite of all time, spoiler for that other video, is Maltese Falcon, the 1941 version. And this character, the lines, as they're delivered, are certainly in my head. I heard Humphrey Bogart's voice. Now, the main character doesn't look anything like Bogey, but the lines sure would fit coming out of Bogart's mouth, if they could. So this primarily concerns this thief named Terry, also known as Slick. And he's kind of an unusual character, and he's a big, muscular, sort of hulking guy, But he also has pure white hair. At least that seems to be what the black and white and ink wash is trying to depict here. So I guess in my head canon, an alternate reality version of him maybe was The Witcher or Elric. I don't know. But he's less of a hero than those characters. But he is somewhat heroic, at least compared to the menagerie of terrible people around him. You know, it's pretty great, and it concerns his getting on the wrong end of some mobsters and owing a debt that he can't really repay very easily. And of course, he's in love with the main head gangster's woman, his Moll, if you will, and she is a burlesque star, hence the name Noir Burlesque. And he is in love with her, and like most characters in these sorts of stories, she's bad news. He's bad news, and she's possibly worse news. And the first half of this book goes along, and it's very exciting, and it's very fun, and you're introduced to all these just terrible villainous characters, and a few innocents are in there too. But about halfway through this thing, it goes completely off the rails, and you're introduced to some wild characters who do some crazy things, and ultra violence. I mean, this is like it's sort of like an R-rated Humphrey Bogart pulp crime movie. If Quentin Tarantino directed it today, maybe. That might be one way to sum it up. But I love this, and I don't want to give away too many plot points, but man, like I said, the first half of the book is a little more traditional. The second half of the book, things kind of go off the rails, and you get into some crazy over-the-top violence. There's some fairly graphic sex and nudity in it. So like I said, it is certainly R, probably hard R if you rated it as a film. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. This book, I read it in, I think, maybe 2 sittings. Yeah, because I just couldn't put it down. I had to see what was going to happen. And the art is beautiful. It is gorgeous. And this book, I mean, it might be my favorite of the year. I'm not sure. It's certainly going to be in the top 10. There's not enough. There's nothing in the top 10 that would knock it down, you know, below that level for me for the year, as far as my reads of the year. Now, is it going to be my #1 of the year? Well, there's 2 ways you'll find out. The first way is to watch Near Mint Conditions sort of year-in multi-creator top reads of the year video, because I'm going to be in that, and I will reveal it there. Now, will it be this book? It might be, because man, right now I am really impressed with it. I just finished reading it today, and I absolutely loved it. It is a thrilling, beautiful, gorgeous thing to behold. I mean, yeah, it's great. I think the art is slightly better than the writing, but the writing is fabulous too. I just loved it. I can't praise this enough. I hope I'm picking the right pages to scan here. But yeah, I loved it. Loved it a lot. It has a nice, satisfying conclusion too. It has a really good ending. And that's the problem with a lot of great books, is they don't always land that ending. This one does that. So yeah, if you're on the fence about buying this, you probably won't be anymore. Unfortunately, like I said, my favorite retailers for graphic novels, in-stock trades and cheap graphic novels, neither one has any stock in this right now. So hopefully they'll come back. Right now, the only place I found it was Amazon. Now, you may find it other places, but it is a $29.95 retail, so it's not too bad if you have to pay cover for this one. Yeah, as you might have guessed, especially if you see my other videos, this is an easy 10 out of 10 for me. I don't think I would change a thing, except maybe make it longer. And man, I sure hope there's going to be a sequel to this, because I'm going to be there for that too. So I hope you like this. If you haven't subscribed already, please do that and give me a thumbs up. I'm going to catch you next time.